Today I'm going to ask Rick something that it's going to be a really good question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know when you were a failure. When's your biggest note failure in your note business? I want to,
So biggest note failure, what did I learn? One thing, the overall thing that I've learned from a common theme in all my note failures is time is a money sucker. It will, the longer you have a non-performing loan going on, it's just the wider and wider and the deeper that hole of cash burn gets. So one of the things is knowing when to cut your losses and just say, look, don't throw good money after bad money. If you might end up coming into a situation where, look, I could turn around and sell something and get out and lose $3,000 or $4,000, or I keep fighting and hope that I get to the end and I can, break even or make a couple of bucks. Well, sometimes if it's the difference between losing the $3,000 or $4,000 and getting to the end and making $1,000 is a year and a half.
Hell no, that's not worth
You
it.
lose your $3,000 or $4,000 and you move on. And that's something that I kind of had to learn is knowing when to, because I don't like to give up.
Are you going to quote Kenny Rogers here?
Huh?
Are you going to quote Kenny Rogers here?
Yeah, know when to hold them. Yeah. I mean, it's true though. You got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to say, you know what, I'm out on this one.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And it's. I guess it kind of really is like a game of poker. You're living for the. You want to be able to make it to the next hand. It's not always about playing every hand. It's about capital retention.
Yeah.
And if you're in the note business, it's going to happen. You're gonna lose on an asset. It's just, not naively, even when I had a mentor, they told me, they go, you're going to lose if you're in the game long enough. And we went the first, 20 assets and didn't lose.
Oh, wow. So you're this big.
Oh, yeah. We're like, yeah, well, maybe most people, not me. And then you get a smack in the teeth. And so, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen. You just have to round it out and say, look, it's the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. If you can turn around and you look at it and not necessarily, you don't always necessarily look at it and say you lost on an asset. You'll say, figure your money out, right? So if you've got $100,000 and you can break it up into chunks and say this $100,000 chunk is working, I might buy something in January and realize in like March that this is going to be a losing proposition. Maybe I bought it to turn it performing, and you just realize that, look, I'm not going to be able to do this. If I have to take the house back, we could have some problems. Well, if you lock up that $100,000 for the rest of the year, it's doing nothing. If you can sell it, lose a couple $1,000 and get that $100,000 back in play, and run that play again, and maybe you get it back in play by June. Or something like that, and then you say, look, I still got 6 months left of the year to turn this into a winning $100,000 a chunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you're looking at annual basis of return.
Yeah, of course, because if you look at, you want to focus on each asset. Grains of sand make the beach, drops of water make the ocean. Pick your cliche. If you have a bunch of losers, you're not going to have a bunch of winners either. You're not going to end up winning. Mm-hmm. But if you realize that sometimes there's going to be bad buys, you're going to miss something, or things will be misrepresented to you. Mm-hmm. You just take it for what it is and try to do the best you can to preserve your capital and get out and move on to the next one.
Smart. Mm-hmm. Good advice. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Cool, man. We'll see you next time. See ya.